A very warm welcome to IDFC FIRST Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritwika Gupta and you're watching highlights from our recently concluded Gurugram Springboard. Now, Gurugram has transformed from a satellite town into a powerhouse of innovation. Once a quiet suburb, the city today stands tall as one of India's fastest growing business hubs, brimming a vibrant entrepreneurial spirit. In the first segment today, we have a keynote by Bharat Goyal, Zonal Head North, IDFC FIRST Bank, sharing his insights on Gurugram's business ecosystem. And in the second segment, we shift gears to innovation and entrepreneurship with Swati Bhargava, co-founder of CashKaro and EarnKaro.
We are here in Gurugram, a city that is rapidly emerging as India's new age startup capital. From emerging tech to consumer goods, the city has become a hotspot of startups in IT, EVs, quick commerce and much more. But how do people who live and work here see this transformation? Let's find out. Once a satellite town near Delhi, Gurugram has now carved its own identity as one of India's fastest growing business destinations.
I think there was a substantial growth in the Gurgaon specifically. There are a lot of companies which are coming out every day.
यहाँ का जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वगैरह भी है ये भी काफ़ी इम्प्रूव हुआ है एंड डेली कुछ ना कुछ न्यू स्टार्टअप्स अभी ग्रो ही हो रहे हैं, लोगों को नई से नई जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही है.
Today, the city is driving some of India's rapidly growing sectors, driven by ambition and innovation.
गुड़गांव में पहले के अकॉर्डिंग तो काफ़ी अभी डेवलप हो गया है. यहाँ पे काफ़ी कंपनीज आ गई हैं, काफ़ी ग्रो हो रहा है. अब मेट्रो भी आ गई हैं काफ़ी कई जगह पे. सो काफ़ी डेवलप हो गया है. अब हमें काफ़ी कन्वीनियंट है हमें कहीं से इधर से उधर जाने के लिए.
Some kind of cleanliness would do good on roads and all. Like if it rains, it like water clogging and water blocking also takes place. So if it will be improved, then it will be good for the travelers.
Home to global headquarters, unicorns and new age startups, Gurugram is driving India's next wave of growth.
When we talk about Gurugram, when we talk about the satellite cities, it's interesting because the kind of growth that we have witnessed in the last so many years in MSME space is where I will talk about, and we will take through the journey of what's happening. Before that, we at IDFC FIRST Bank are proud to be associated with ET Now over the last few years, where we have seen the visionaries, the thinkers, and the founders coming all throughout and making these events successful. For a moment, look at the slides and look at the data point, and these are some interesting facts for us to ponder over. Today, almost 45% of India's exports, 30% of India's GDP, and almost 60-65% of manpower are contributed by MSMEs. Circa, you compare it with any advanced or emerging economies, and you realize that this portion is almost a little more than 50%. The positive side of this is, today, we have almost 20% of the road to travel. Some of the tailwinds for growth in MSMEs are in front of you. Something which is demand-led growth. India is a consumption-led economy. We all saw the GST being refined by Honorable Prime Minister, and we are so fortunate to see that the consumption from here on is further going to grow. Delhi NCR, the place where we all live, has a significant and a profound impact on MSMEs. Almost $150 billion that Delhi NCR contributes in the overall GDP pie. The total inflows as an FDI was a staggering $9.8 billion in the last financial year. Right? Exports, when we talk about exports, a huge, again, the tariffs that we all saw being placed by a certain country on us, has it really impacted us? If you read the reports, you will figure out that it is in points that overall the impact on the Indian economy will finally come. The logistics, the financials, and overall the business-friendly nature. Overall in the economy, if these things are rightly stacked up, as a country, we are right up there. As a country, the MSMEs are right up there to help move into the next phase. Delhi is surrounded by the satellite cities, and all of these cities over a last period of painstaking manner have come up the curve. There are industries, the MSMEs, that are now today moving ahead with a lot of elan. When it comes to our own Gurgaon, we are perhaps the largest exporter of software, IT and IT-enabled services in the country today. Similarly, one of a very important aspect, while you all read through these slides, has come up in the form of Bahadurgarh, where the IT footwear park has, been set up at almost some 400-acre land. Something like this, if is being envisaged today and is being delivered today, this is for sure that the economy is going to reach to a next level. I really want to take you through some of the IDFC FIRST Bank offerings. Our whole idea is that while all of you, as founders, visionaries, thinkers, build your own company or are a part of some MSME, please keep on focusing on that. Because in terms of banking, we are there to help you out. We, as a bank, take privilege in the fact that we are guided by ethics. We are a very technology-oriented bank and a bank for social good. Some of the MSME landscape is right in front of you. Something which we talk about as the credit, the deposit, as well as the value-added services. On the credit side, we have the secured, we have the unsecured, we have the equipment financing, right? On the deposit side, I'm again very proud to say, 10 years back, when we launched the bank, we kind of created something very, very new when we said that we will open your accounts in flat 4 minutes. We are still opening your accounts, and today is a time when the moment your account is open, your individual account is open, you can do your mobile banking, you can do your net banking, you can pull funds, you can push funds. Value-added services, you talk about PG, we have a tie-up, we have a white label PG as well with us. The UPIs, the APIs, the entire, again, the bouquet is stitched in IDFC FIRST Bank's offerings. In terms of collection, for a moment, have a look at this. The first row will tell you the PGs, the POS, the soundbox, the QR, right? eNash, CBDC to virtual accounts. All of these products being developed are to help you come up, to help you achieve what as the solutions in MSMEs we never thought of. Now these solutions will help you. On the payment side, while we have the traditional methods, IMPS, RTGS, NEFT, that remains there. Nobody can replace them, right? But yes, we have added few more. I'm again very happy to tell you that IDFC, when a few years back, when we launched our first Wings program under the startup, not many knew that this will become really a roaring success, because we actually tapped into so many startups. What is it that we offer to all of these companies? The products that you read, so we divided into early stage and growth stage startups, right? So in terms of early stage, there is a startup current account where you don't need to maintain AMB for 3 years. Beyond banking support. So in terms of beyond banking, we have tied up with almost 80 plus vendors. So all your ERP, your accounting, your admin, HR, everything today we have a tie-up. Credit card with the step-up credit. So the founders, the directors, we provide this credit card against FD. The beauty of that card is, since it's a step-up, every 6 months and 9 months, against 100% of your FD, while you do not have a credit history, still bank goes beyond and gives you 110 and 125% of overall credit limit on this. This has been done keeping in mind the early stage startups. No lien current account, as well as the Bravo facility, which Mr. Bachchan a while back was speaking. Again, a fabulous one. The only thing as a wise approach is, while we allow it beyond 2 lakhs, think through it. Please speak to the a banker and figure out whether is it 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, or what exactly that you want to keep in your account. And beyond that, you want to move that into fixed deposit. One of the things that we strongly believe is that all the products that we develop in-house in IDFC FIRST Bank are tried and tested on ourselves, on our family members. In terms of growth stage startups, working capital, while you get everything that I spoke about, you get a working capital limit, right? That's something that we take proud and proud of, that we are able to provide that to our customers. The API banking, the entire credit card with expense management tool that we provide to you as the bank. The treasury solutions, largely on the Bravo front that I spoke about, and the founder solutions. All the solutions that I spoke about in just a moment back are there for you to please explore. Thank you so very much.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching highlights from our Gurugram Springboard. In this segment, I get chatting with one of India's most successful entrepreneurs who turned an idea into the country's leading cashback and rewards platform. A journey truly inspiring. Swati Bhargava, co-founder of CashKaro and EarnKaro. So Swati, you grew up in Ambala and then you went on to actually found, I think, the leading cashback platform in India. So it's been like a journey which a lot of people would find interesting. I want to know what sparked your initial entrepreneurial spirit.
So like, Ritwika said, I grew up in Ambala and I never thought that I'm really going to go outside and study. But my dad came across this advertisement for Singapore scholarship and he said, why don't you apply for this? You topped in class 10. I said, Papa, there's no chance that a girl from Ambala is going to be among the top 25 people all over India. But then I said, okay, why not? Let's just apply. And I actually got through that. Then I got a scholarship to the London School of Economics. So I studied there, worked at Goldman Sachs in London for 5 years. And after that, when I got married to my husband, Rohan, that's when we come to your question, that, he was also working in finance, but he always wanted to do something in entrepreneurship. And every weekend in London, shaadi hone ke baad, people do more exciting things. But hum jate the business idea explore karne every weekend, ki ye, something or the other. Nothing would really stick until we came across a cashback app and we used it and we said, what is this app? It gives you money back for shopping online. And that's how we got the idea that, okay, we should actually do this. So today we are the largest affiliate marketing partner for all e-commerce sites, whether it's Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, even a lot of the D2C brands. And we have two apps, CashKaro and EarnKaro. CashKaro is a cashback app. So if you're shopping on any of these sites, you go via CashKaro and you place your order, we give you some cashback. And our other app, EarnKaro, is actually being used by all influencers to share their affiliate links.
I want to understand, how has the business ecosystem in Gurugram really helped in CashKaro's growth journey?
Well, firstly, when Rohan and I moved back from London, because it was Gurgaon that we moved back to, I think it was so easy for us to settle in. Because Gurgaon is a great combination of that cosmopolitan hub vibe, plus you also have family and you have a good very nice condos to live in. So Gurgaon has all that. Personally, we have an amazing group of startup entrepreneurs that have actually become our friend circle. So those of you who are on my Instagram at SwatiDB, you will see a lot of the startup entrepreneurs. We are always hanging out together as friends. Then, the talent that we've got, our head of operations, Kesar, actually is from Kashmir and he's been with us since 10 years, since the founding team itself. And if you're living within Gurgaon and you're working within Gurgaon, then it's amazing because you don't have that Delhi-Gurgaon travel problem.
But Swati, you entered the affiliate marketing space when it was perhaps not even known, it was not a very new, known concept, right, in India. So what what gave you the conviction that this is going to work and this is what you want to do?
Well, firstly, coming from UK, we saw how people were using cashback apps there and liking it. And I mean, with that kind of value consciousness, we knew that it will do well in India. We like our dhania mirchi. We should definitely like cashback. So one was that. The other was seeing the success abroad, not only in UK but in US. So we saw that in all the mature e-commerce markets, there was a good cashback app which was well into the unicorn status. And it's because and also in India now we've seen that with so much influx of capital, so many people coming online, the cost of customer acquisition is just going up and up. So because of the way that the model was structured, it's such a win-win. I think that gave us confidence that we should do it in India.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to get to the crux of my discussion. What's your take on women in tech today? I know the situation, the landscape has really evolved, from what it used to be perhaps a decade ago. But do you think we still have a long way to go?
We definitely do. When I started my first job at Goldman Sachs in banking, I used to think, यहाँ पे women come hai, which is true. But coming from that, when I came into tech, I realized, oh, this is another banking. There are again not too many women. Sometimes I ask myself why, but when I ask myself that why, I actually go back to the start of it, right? A lot of families in India, when we are growing up, the girls are told, तुमने इतना पढ़ लिख के करना क्या है? शादी तो करनी है. Right? It is that mentality change which we need to bring up, where we need to encourage the daughters of the house to be more ambitious, to take their career more seriously for their own sake. So over time, there's a cascading effect to the evolution of society. So it starts from there. And then, of course, in the companies itself, all of us are trying to be more supportive in terms of whatever flexibility women need. Because unfortunately, men can come and say, hey, next 1 month, I'm really busy at work, don't bother me with anything. The woman can't do that if she's a working mom. So it's a lot of societal pressures as well, which need to change if we want more women in tech or in the workforce for that matter.
Whenever I do some women in business panels, on my show as well, one, I think, consistent challenge which everybody talks about is that of funding and scaling and raising money. There seems to be still some sort of a bias. What do you think are some of the unique challenges, and what's your take on this?
I am fortunate that I haven't faced it. So Rohan and I, my husband, we run the business together. So we always had a choice that we could have asked the guy to do fundraising. But we didn't. I do the fundraising, right? So therefore, in our case, we don't have that intrinsic belief that a woman being the front face will be a deterrent for investors. Not to say that stereotypes don't exist. My friends have had a lot of experiences where, people will, I've also had some. Sometimes me and Rohan are sitting and people will say, Acha, so what tech stack do you use? And automatically they'll look there, right? Or they'll be like, so what are your numbers like? They'll look at Rohan. And I'll be thinking, I'm the one who has a math degree from LSE. Can you look here, please? But I don't say that, right? So, but I will just start answering. And I think the way to beat that stereotype for me has to be in just show the proof. You think like that? No problem. Let me answer. You will get your answer automatically. And then they understand that, okay, they have to talk to us. We've raised about 250 crores so far. $30 million. Our first seed funding was in the UK, where we pitched at London Business School in a group like this, where cross-country people are sitting, and we got our first check from there. Then the second one was Series A, Kalari Capital. Again, in that boardroom, Vani and I were the only two females. Everybody else wasn't. Our third small check was Mr. Ratan Tata, and that meeting was amazing because he was sitting on a long table having his lunch, and we sat across from him. And, they told us, ki pitch there. So I said, theek hai, hum khade ho gaye. Then after a point, I was like, he's sitting here. We have these 20 minutes. If we don't connect, there's no way he's investing. So I said, sir, do you mind if we sit across from you and just have a chat? And he said, yeah, sure. So I sat across from him. And then we just told him about the business. We had a good 20-minute conversation. So at every step, of course, it's the team, it's our work together, it's the fact, that yes, Rohan is with me because as a team, we are much stronger. But I haven't faced that bias. I think it's about the confidence that you walk in, and if you don't, I just say fake it till you make it.
But is there a perfect pitch? Is there a checklist that founders or entrepreneurs should keep in mind? What do you think when you look back? What do you think is that one thing that worked for you?
I think in most of our pitches, there were 5 items, if I can say so, that I think investors always look for. One is the market size and the size of the opportunity. Number 2, global precedence. Then number 3 is the unit metrics itself, right? And number 4 is the traction so far. And number 5 is the team, right? And I think that at Series C, like now when we raise our next round, I'm making sure investors also understand that the business is actually no longer dependent on me and Rohan. Of course, I don't think you can replace the founders because the amount of craziness that we bring in is hard. And I'm sure professional CEOs can do that. But I think the team and the fact that there's a stable management structure, that is always important.
Swati, what I really like about you is that, you also have a personal brand, your Instagram, your podcast. How important do you think it is for a founder today to have a voice?
I think it's very important, and that's why I've invested in it. So when we moved from London here, I didn't have a LinkedIn account because at Goldman, I was like, why would I make a LinkedIn account? Why do people need it? Because I was so busy working. Never needed it, right? I made my Insta after coming here. My audience has come from my peer group, right? So all the startup entrepreneurs that not all, but a lot of them would be there. And I think what happens with that is that if, let's say, I am today talking about our business, if I'm talking about EarnKaro, which is a new product and how it's driving so much traffic to brands, inadvertently, it's also going to my clients because these clients are also friends, but they are also people who will tomorrow work with CashKaro EarnKaro. So it's about that recall, which I think that social media presence has helped me build. And then I wanted to share stories of how people are actually earning so much by EarnKaro. So that's why I started the BAD podcast, Be a Dreamer. And again, I think the challenge for entrepreneurs is that you're always choosing between, it's all about time, right? Where you put your focus, where you put your time. So I'm trying to make my content on the go. But that's how I've managed to do it.
Aviral, there is building a global community of entrepreneurs. You are, whether deliberately or just unconsciously, you also have a network of entrepreneurs. I actually want to ask you, what sort of a role do you see, networking, mentorship playing in an entrepreneur's journey?
I think it's really important because you would have heard so many entrepreneurs say that it's a lonely journey. You always fear that somebody else will judge you, right? And somebody else will say, "Arey, tumne 10 saal mein sirf itna kiya." But the entrepreneur might actually understand that, it might take 2 years for me to find my right tech vendor because I got screwed over by them at the start. I think entrepreneurs get it. So I feel like with our entrepreneur friends, I'm able to explain the challenges also much better, seek advice from also better. And I think, for me, some of those entrepreneur friendships have been very important, and they've always delivered.
The theme for our show this season is Agility, Ambition, Ascent. I want to know how important is it for entrepreneurs? In fact, how do you stay nimble while eyeing long-term growth?
I think that's really important because whatever is the flavor of the season is the flavor. And if you ride that wave, you can ride it only then. And how we've seen it in our business is that over the last 3 years, we've developed a new category for credit cards and loans. So we did that because we realized that India was in that stage where financial inclusion and the demand for financial instruments is at an all-time high. I think we were nimble enough to quickly launch one BankKaro and said, okay, let's do this, right? And EarnKaro also we launched when social commerce was there. So some of that has actually become our new growth levers. So today when we talk to investors, we are actually talking about CashKaro later, we're talking about EarnKaro first. So I think it just also becomes the new growth engine for you.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to earn, you know where to go. But
Yeah.
Swati, this was absolutely a pleasure to chat
Thank you
with
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.